All right, hi, welcome. I guess I want to start this video podcast type thing, this video blog, and I want to start talking about development and my experience in development and what I've done and how it can help other people who are developers or chief technology officers, chief executive officers, chief information officers, and how they can probably apply my lessons to their organizations and possibly reap some benefits. And some of the things I want to talk about is like consistency, simplicity, rule 10 of 12, and cost. Now, what I've found when I've joined teams, I've joined a number of different teams and worked on a number of different projects, both as a software developer, software engineer, lead engineer, large team lead engineer, and now a chief executive officer of my own company called Cloud Frequency. So with consistency, what we're looking for is on our dev teams. So down at the lowest level, they need a consistent environment that is consistent with what they're doing in production as well as their local environments. Because oftentimes when I go to teams, I've done a little bit of consulting too, and I'm sitting in with this team and I hear various different engineers talking about, oh, I couldn't reproduce this on my local machine, or I couldn't reproduce this up in the QA environment, or it's only showing up in the stage environment and not QA and not production. So this drift in the way that things are implemented at the various different stages of an application's lifecycle do affect how quickly we can troubleshoot something, and that directly correlates to the cost. You know, we can see how much more expensive it is to do rework or redo something in a application when we've got engineers spending more time on it. So ideally, as a business owner, we want to be able to reduce the cost and be able to fix things quickly so that they can focus on the things that really matter, is like the new feature implementations or user acquisition or something like that. So in getting that, the first thing that I would do when I joined a team is I would say, okay, I need to set up my development environment. This is a typical story for a lot of engineers, is they join the team and they want to set up the environment. And then there's this thing about a lack of consistency. There's no consistency in the documentation sometimes, or you've got to build something from source this way, and you've got to go over to this place and get this done, or import this data file, or something like that. When that's not really very effective, and oftentimes it'll take a week, 2 weeks. I've even seen it take a couple of months for one engineer to get spun up on something, for them to get acclimated to the environment. And what I've advocated is, reproducible environments. And this comes from rule 10 of 12, from the 12 factor, which is dev prod parity. You want to be able to have your environment be as close to development or as close to production as it is to your local environment, so that you can both troubleshoot and replicate and organize the system and manifest any errors you can locally, as well as get a lot faster development while you're developing. And it should be consistent for all of the engineers. And this really comes down to simplifying the application. And we use containerization to get this. So we'll create a container that's an artifact locked into the way that the application should be at this given point in time, or dependency, and then lay it into the application. And now we can run that exact same artifact both locally and in production. So a couple of questions would be like, are you experiencing these kind of issues, or have you heard these stories on your teams when you're working with your engineering teams? Are you hearing that, yes, hey, this bug showed up here, but it didn't show here? Or I couldn't get all the data the same way as this one, or I couldn't replicate it on my machine. So if you've heard something like that, there may be some work to be done there. So it's just something to think about. Thanks for your time. And if you want to learn more about me and the company, you can go to cloudfrequency.com and check it out.